Good evening, everyone. I'll now call to order this May 27th, 2025 meeting of the Lancaster City Council. A few reminders for everyone at the top of the meeting. This meeting and its participants are being recorded. Please take a moment to silence your phones and devices if you haven't done so already. I'll make a note that this evening at 5:30 p.m., members of council attended an information session with the city solicitor, during which he provided us with information regarding executive orders issued by President Trump and actions taken by various federal agencies. During our meeting this evening, there will be several opportunities for public comment. The first public comment period is for residents that have registered in advance to speak about items not on the agenda. Residents may also comment on individual items on our legislative agenda. That's item 9 on our agenda this evening. Finally, a second public comment period will be at the end of the agenda for any other speakers wishing to address council. All speakers should begin with their name and block of residence for our meeting record. And please be advised that public comment is not a question and answer period. All comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and to keep time, I'll be using this light here. It will turn green when 3 minutes begins. It will flash yellow when there's 1 minute remaining, and then turn red after 3 minutes. After 3 minutes has been expended, I will ask speakers to end their comment, and I appreciate everyone's cooperation in order to maintain order and equal time. And lastly, speakers addressing City Council and members of the audience are expected to conduct themselves in an orderly manner and remain respectful of others. Thank you in advance for doing that. Now, for all of those who are willing and able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Harris, would you please call the roll of members?
Yes, Madam President. Mr. Med.
Here.
Mr. Arroyo.
Here.
Mr. Cleese.
Here.
Ms. Craig.
Here.
Ms. Diaz. Mr. Hirsch.
Here.
And President Baker.
Here. Our next item is the approval of the minutes of our May 13, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the meeting minutes. Are there any council comments on the minutes? Hearing none. Mr. Harris.
Mr. Med.
Aye.
Mr. Arroyo.
Aye.
Mr. Cleese.
Aye.
Ms. Craig.
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch.
Aye.
And President Baker.
Aye. Next item on the agenda this evening are proclamations, honors, awards, and resolutions of recognition. We have one of those this evening. Mr. Harris, if you would, please. Resolution number 34.
Yes, Madam President. A resolution of the Council of the City of Lancaster recognizing Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month and the contributions which Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders have made to the City of Lancaster.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Councilors, let me welcome up this evening members of the Lancaster AAPI who will be speaking on behalf of this resolution this evening. Good evening, and thank you for being here. Since you're the first at the microphone, I'll just say, make sure that you see the light is on. You may have to hit the button, and you may move that microphone up and down as needed. And you do need to be pretty close with this speaker system we're using, so don't be afraid.
Is this good? Okay.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak tonight. My name is Cindy Lamb. I am the president of Lancaster AAPI. I'm also the co-owner of Cilantro Asian Street Kitchen. You may or may not know, on every corner and every block of Lancaster City, every road, every shopping center in the county, up and down Route 30, every traffic-lined street, off the beaten paths, small roads to major highways, there is an AAPI-owned business. During the height of COVID-19 pandemic, many businesses' doors shuttered. So many of our Asian-owned businesses stayed standing, not because it was easy, but because we refused to give up. We braved through difficult social and economic times. We adapted and pushed forward because we're a resilient community. But resilience doesn't mean the road has been easy. Even today in 2025, the climate for small businesses, especially minority-owned businesses, has grown more challenging. Inflation, rising costs, labor shortages, and new waves of bias and xenophobia continue to test us. Our community faces obstacles that go beyond the economy, ones rooted in perception, misunderstanding, and sometimes unequal access to opportunity. We are also navigating a climate where immigrants and immigrant families, many within our AANHPI community, are often treated with suspicion, dismissed, or even targeted. In times like these, it's important to remind everyone here, many of us, through grandparents or parents, came here out of courage. We came here to work hard and build a life, and we chose Lancaster as our home. Many of us have chosen to build businesses here, to invest in the city, to raise our families here, and share our culture with everyone. The AANHPI community has poured their hearts into building a vibrant and thriving community, and our impact can be felt in every corner of this city. We enrich the cultural fabric of Lancaster with every dish, every service, and every story that we share. By recognizing and honoring AANHPI Heritage Month, you're saying that we see you, we value you, and we believe in your place here. So thank you for that. You help create space for our stories to be told, our cultures to be shared, and our futures to be built together. You're supporting families who bet everything on a better future, and you're supporting neighbors who are helping to shape Lancaster's economy, culture, and heart. Let's continue to be intentional and about recognizing and honoring the strength and sacrifices and contributions of the AANHPI community. I ask for all of us and our city council leaders to continue to uplift, honor, and invest in our stories, in our voices, not just in May, but every month of the year. Because our stories don't begin and end with a Heritage Month. They are written every single day here, right here in Lancaster City. Thank you for walking with us, standing with us, and celebrating all that we are. And I would like to introduce the next speaker from Lancaster API, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Excuse me. Hello, my name is Rachel Young. I was recently made LAPI's new events chair. I just want to give a little background on me. So I'm originally from Harrisburg, PA, actually. I come from a really traditional Vietnamese family, and they on both sides, they settled in the U.S. as refugees because of the war. And so growing up in central PA, the dichotomy of being Vietnamese American has definitely been a roller coaster. I attended a private school in Harrisburg throughout high school and then went to Lebanon Valley College. So I have grown really accustomed to navigating white-centric spaces and standing out, so much that I often felt like I had to hide just how different my family and I were in order to struggle just to fit in. And being Asian, my identity within these spaces was often already decided for me before I even stepped foot in the room. Looking back, I faced daily micro and macroaggressions that I didn't even understand at the time. And a lot of those experiences really shaped how I saw myself because I could not fully embrace my identity, and I just felt self-conscious because I wasn't the norm all the time. I often found myself craving community with people who looked like me and shared similar cultural experiences. In college, I was introduced to more socially conscious studies that really opened my eyes to what was going on, and I finally felt seen. Hearing other marginalized people and students speak on their experiences and how they overcame those barriers to become outspoken advocates in their communities really empowered me and lit a fire in me that I've carried throughout my life since. So that's why I sought out LAPI a few years ago when I moved to Lancaster in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. It was a crucial time in a lot of Asian Americans' lives. And at the suggestion of a really good friend who saw that I was seeking community because I felt so alone, she introduced me to individuals from LAPI, and they accepted me with open, loving arms. And I've been so grateful ever since, because now I get to work within a space with such wonderful individuals that empathize with and uplift my passions for social advocacy and representation. Being part of this organization has opened so many doors for me to connect with other people from other multicultural organizations as well that represent the rich diversity of people here in Lancaster and help expand my worldview. My lived experience in Lancaster so far reminds me to stay grateful to come from such a beautiful culture that affords me the wonderful experiences of connecting with so many others that now make up my beloved community. Witnessing the efforts that have been made in Lancaster to embrace the AANHPI population that resides here and celebrates our cultures and relevance in the city has been truly empowering. I'm very proud to be part of this community now, and I'm excited to see how we continue to grow. Thank you all very much.
My name is Samuel Solomon. I lived here in Lancaster, PA since I was 1 year old. I'm a McCaskey alum, photographer, co-owner of a streetwear clothing brand, and a board member for an organization called Touchstone Foundation, working to support youth mental health here in our city. While living in America, I've been under a program called DACA, which stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. For half of my life, I've been living in this legal limbo, along with over 500,000 children of immigrant parents. We are granted temporary protection from deportation and the ability to live and work here in the United States legally. We have to apply to renew the status every 2 years with no pathway to American citizenship. I've built my whole life here, working, paying taxes, and trying to make a positive impact in my community, yet there's no guarantee if I can stay here in America. Despite living in this legal limbo for over 10 years, I'm really proud to call Lancaster my home. This past year has been a journey of reflection where I ask myself if I truly fit in and if I truly belong. But Lancaster has always been shaped by immigrants, and people like me are a part of that legacy. Since its founding, Lancaster has had over 250 years of welcoming immigrants and settlers, those who seek to find a better life and help build up this community and this country. Today, I find myself in fear of how people like myself are seen and what is happening to immigrants in this country. I'm here today to share with you that even though I'm afraid of what will happen to me, I know that it takes the courage of one person to change that narrative. My whole life, Lancaster has treated me and my family as part of its community, and I've been thankful to have been able to contribute and give back to it. I hope as a community, we can choose to see one another with dignity and create a place where the city truly belongs to all of us. Thank you.
Wow, that is close. Hi, everyone. My name is Maya McCulley. I am honored to be here, to be part of this amazing event that I never thought would ever happen. So I was born and raised in Lancaster. I am a graduate of McCaskey. My family, we came over in 1975 to Fort Indiantown Gap. And just thinking about it, like even in April, because that was the 50-year anniversary of the war, it's heavy because I imagine my grandmother, my family, everyone just leaving things behind, running towards the water, trying to find a way out, like running up a platform, trying to grab onto a helicopter to find their way out. And it's not lost on me that their struggles and their journey to come here has lifted me and put me in a place where I can stand here in a room of diversity and be able to talk to all of you. My family is so rooted in Lancaster. The church on the corner, St. James, is part of a network of churches that sponsored our family to come to America. My mother was the first Vietnamese woman to graduate from Millersville University with a degree in mathematics. And I was blessed to be born at St. Joseph Hospital right over here. And I still live here and raise my 2 children here. I'm deeply honored to be able to share my family's story and to be part of a community that opens doors and are now holding open those doors. And sometimes they are pushing open those doors for families like mine to feel belonging, to help them thrive, and to help them make it feel like home. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to each of you for sharing your stories with us this evening. I appreciate the part that you play in the AAPI history in Lancaster, and also the stories that are yet to be told. We do have a motion and a second on the floor for this resolution. Are there any additional council comments on the resolution? Councilor Ahmed?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to thank the members of the AAPI community who came out tonight and also those who are not here. And just want to thank you for all that you do for Lancaster City as business owners, community leaders, neighbors. And I encourage you to continue to keep telling your stories because you know, we are better because of our diversity and we are better because of our welcoming. And the AAPI community here in Lancaster is a model of how welcoming works and how we are better because of our new neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ahmed. Additional council comments? Comments from the public? Hearing none. Mr. Harris?
Mr. Ahmed,
Aye.
Mr. Arroyo,
Aye.
Mr. Cleese,
Aye.
Ms. Craig,
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch,
Aye.
and President Bega.
Aye. Folks, we do have a presentation copy of this resolution, and we'll grab a photo, so if everyone can bear with us for just a moment while we do that. All right, thank you, everyone. Yes, I was going to say, do not need to stay for the whole meeting, although you're invited to do so if you wish. We will move on to our next item on the agenda. I believe that is our first public comment period. Again, this is reserved for residents who contacted the city clerk prior to the meeting to request the opportunity to address council. Duration of comments is limited to 3 minutes. And Mr. Harris, do we have comments for the first period this evening?
Yes, we do, Madam President. First is Ahmed Zaki.
Okay. Mr. Zaki.
Hello to City Council and Ms. Mayor. I am happy that I'm again here. And my topic is opposite their topic. And I'm talking general. I know that you couldn't do anything. Yeah, you cannot do anything for me. But just for an update, just for a different way that I'm trying to explain the problems. Okay, a lot of you know that my story, I no need to repeat it. Recently, we took down our sign of our restaurant after 4 years that City Council condemned it. And it is very interesting and shameful for a country of law and justice. Very easy a person pay an inspector running business without insurance and proper inspection. The property. Destroy our business, sell our equipment, even not pay our security deposit. Challenge us at the court and tell us that you cannot fight at the court because you don't have money, we have money. You cannot afford it. He's right because the law and justice is not in power, the money is in power. This is not only our problem or my problem, it's all our country problem, society problem. This is there is a big problem between rich and poor. Justice systems instead solve the problem by not giving justice, making it expensive, encouraging people and encouraging everybody to get their right by themselves, by committing crime, killing each other, or suicide themselves. All you know the story of Liu Morgan or Mueugin, that insurance story. Or there is a person in Huntington killed himself in front of the court. And there is 1,000 stories. If you go to the Google, you can find 1,000 cases about this killing, murdering, and because of injustice. Who is responsible for all this suicide, killing each other, murdering? And 1,000 cases every year happening. I myself, I blame, accuse the people on this business and law business. Who is in law business? Justice Department, judges, lawyers, or any person who making money from the blood of the people, not from the solve the problem. This is all money they're making from the blood, not from the solving the problem. And I'm challenging all lawyers, all judges. It is really the first time that I'm challenging
Mr.
a
Zaki,
judge.
we've reached 3 minutes.
Okay. I will continue next time.
Thank
There's
you.
A little more. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mr. Harris, do we have any additional commenters for this period?
We do not, Madam President.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda this evening are reports requested by council. The first one being interviews with applicants for the Lancaster City Ethics Commission. So I want to make a couple of announcements before we jump into those. Councilors, tonight, this is first of 2 dates for interviews for nominees to the Ethics Commission. Although my intention was to have all interviews completed at our June committee meeting, there was some conflict, so we will hold 1 interview this evening. Remaining interviews will take place at our June committee meeting, and then motions to nominate will be heard at our June 10th regular meeting. There will be a space on our agenda to take nominations, so that you are all aware. Applicants are not required to be at that June 10th meeting. Just as a refresher for everyone, applicants were chosen for interviews by a ranked choice voting system by which members of council sent me their top 2 selections from all nominees. And then my intention was to take the top 4. There was a tie, so there will be 5 interviews. And then we are able to appoint 3 members to this brand new commission. So again, this is brand new, and thank you everyone for bearing with us as we sort of create a process that doesn't already exist. This evening, we have 1 interview. It is, I'm sorry, I'm just going to bring things up here to make sure I have everything here. We're speaking with Theodore Griffiths this evening. Mr. Griffiths, you are here. I'm going to have you come forward. And just to give everyone an update, I suspect that these interviews will be generally pretty brief, 5 minutes to 7 minutes tops. Council also sent me some questions that they might want to ask applicants. I've compiled them in a list, sent them to all members of council. They can choose to use those questions if they wish, but all members of council will be given an opportunity to ask a question of our applicants after we begin. The first thing I want to do, you have been asked these questions before, Mr. Griffiths. Good evening, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Sorry about me being the one conflict. I
That's
didn't
okay.
realize that.
We make it work.
Yeah.
It's vacation time, I understand.
Yeah.
You've been asked to affirm these questions before, but I'm just going to ask them again for our meeting record. So,
Yes.
is your primary residence within the city of Lancaster?
Yes.
Okay. Have you held or any appointed or elected office within city government within the last year?
No.
Thank you. Have you held any political party office within the last year?
No.
Thank you. And have you held any political action committee positions within the last year?
No, I have not.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to begin by using my handy dandy timer. If you could provide us with an introduction about a minute long, just a background on who you are, any relevant information we should know and why you wish to serve on this commission. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you for having me again. I am Theodore Griffiths. I'm a librarian, and I'm the manager of all of the business services and circulation at the Lancaster Public Library, right along the way there. Beyond all of my librarian duties, I help local entrepreneurs with all of our business databases, and I help them conduct market research, and then I link them up with our community partners like Assets, SCORE, and a few other financial institutions. I also oversee our lovely front desk staff, so if you haven't been in the new library, if it's been a while, please stop in. I'm a native of Scranton, PA, but I've been in Lancaster County since 2011. So I went to Millersville. I have a bachelor's in, I have a bachelor's in literature with a minor in philosophy, extremely employable. And then since then, yeah. Once I graduated, my wife and I ran a little bed and breakfast for about 4.5 years. It's called the Hollinger House. It's still going today, but in 2019, we decided we wanted to buy our own home. So we bought a house in the southwest part of the city, and we decided a couple years after that to go back to school and get our master's degrees. I finished my master's degree in library science just last year, and since then, I have been given much more responsibility at the library itself. I believe that my experience on the library's internal policy committee, my handling of all of our patrons, all of their private information, all of their reading habits, especially now that that kind of stuff is kind of in the scope of certain entities, plus my dedication to the equity of access to all kinds of information and my prior experience as a manager of a business, formed me into a candidate that can be trusted to be nonpartisan, honest, and observant when constructing a city ethics policy on this commission. Sorry,
you.
I don't do public speaking.
That's okay. That's all right. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to just go down the line and allow counselors to ask questions if they have them this evening, beginning to my left this time with Counselor Hirsch.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Theodore, for stepping up into this role, and you're doing great on the public speaking, so no worries.
Thank you.
I just have a question in regards to ethical issues. How do you see yourself as, or how do you ensure that your personal beliefs don't necessarily conflict with fair and impartial decision making?
So I think I understand that at the end of the day, we all have biases, but those do need to be kept at home, and that's the same thing at work as well. So, for instance, I don't believe in any form of censorship. As a librarian, that is in our entire code of ethics. It's a founding principle of that. But that means things that I disagree with as well. There will be items in the library that we keep in circulation because freedom of information, freedom to read whatever you want to read, regardless of what it is. And so I think I can bring that into this role as well, as someone who, will understand that while I may not agree with something on a personal level, there is good to it. It is ethical, and I bring that to my work as well.
I think that's important now more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Theodore.
Counselor Craig.
Thank you, Council President, and hello, good evening.
It's very nice to see you again.
Could you tell us about a time when you had an ethical dilemma and how you solved it?
Yeah, so let me think here. I would say actually it came down, my previous job, I worked at another library before this one. I was out at E-Town, and we had a lot of books that were propaganda, you might say, anti-trans, with dubious medical information in them. But they were circulating. Some of the patrons in that area were very engaged with them, and there was a part of me that wanted to remove these books. There was a part of me that said, this is not scientifically backed, these aren't peer-reviewed. But at the end of the day, information and the freedom of information is information, and those books are still there to this day. I don't work there anymore. I don't know if we necessarily carry anything like that at LPL, but they're still there, and those people still have access to those books, even if I do not agree with them.
Fantastic, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask my question as we move down the line. So this is a volunteer appointment, as the same with any of our boards, commissions, authorities. Have you served on any other volunteer boards or commissions before? And if so, what did you learn from that experience?
I actually have not. I've been working on my schooling the last few years, and before that we were running a business. So this is kind of the first time I've had any of the free time, if you will, to engage in something like this. And I feel like this would be a great place to do it because I love this community, I love this city, I love the Southwest where I live. And yeah, I just think it would be, nice. I think now's the time.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you saying that you have the time to commit, because that's
Yes.
also very important in these volunteer roles.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks.
Councillor Kleist.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you for your willingness to serve. And how would you ensure that the Commission's decisions are applied fairly and consistently under the Home Rule Charter, regardless of the position, status, or political connections of the individuals involved?
So I think that's where the entire commission comes in. I'm hoping, like any good commission, that there are people from multiple different backgrounds, a very diverse commission of all different ages as well. So then when we're looking at, any policy, we can engage with that from a lot of different perspectives. And I feel like that is how you make sure that something is fair for all, is that all different eyes have to be on it. I would just be one. I'm a 35-year-old white guy, but I'm hoping that the entire committee is made up of a lot of different people so that we can have multiple sets of eyes on there to make sure that these decisions, that these policies are fully ethical.
Good, thank you.
Councillor Arroyo.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Theodore, for your willingness to serve. How would you handle a situation where someone you know is subject to an ethics complaint?
Well, in that case, in a situation like this, I have my friends, I have my family, but at the end of the day, I was raised by a Marine, and it's all about the good of the entire community. It's about, it's about the good of your entire platoon, and unfortunately, sometimes that means that you have to turn your back on people that are making bad decisions, and you have to push forward, and you can't stick by them. You can't let that slide. You have to face that head on and acknowledge that this person that I care about, this person I like, has made a bad decision, and I have to call that out. And I would absolutely do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President, and thank you, Theodore, for your willingness to serve and answering our questions this evening. How do you believe that integrity and honesty in elected officials can build trust in the community?
I mean, I think it's everything. I think if you see, the people that you voted for, if you see them engaging in things that are dishonest, if you see them kind of not standing up for the little guy sometimes, not that I'm saying anyone's doing that, by the way, that is not a, but I feel like it's all about that trust. It's all about seeing them walk the walk, seeing them, everything they say on the campaign trail, they do in their office as well. And it's the same thing, for someone like me who would not, I'm not a politician, I would not be, in an elected office, but to make sure that even when I'm out in public, when I'm out around the city, that I am engaging in, fair behavior and, I'm being a good custodian of this city. And I feel like that's extremely important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ahmed. Any last pressing questions from members of council? Okay. Mr. Griffiths, thank you so much for being here this evening. Again, we will convene the rest of our interviews at our next committee meeting in June, and then motions will be taken at our June 10th meeting. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to be here this evening.
Yep. Thank you very much. See y'all.
Our next item on the agenda is still under reports requested by council. Council, we will hear tonight an update for the Office of Healthy Homes. So we'll let them get set up here. And so I believe your do you have a presentation or just a?
We do have a presentation.
Like a visual presentation?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Just note that I don't think that counselors are able to see it at this time, so if we could get your slides. It'll be on the screen behind us, so folks here will have it, but AV issues being what they are, we won't have it in front of us at the moment. But if you're able to send it to Mr. Harris, he can forward it to us so we can pull it up.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do that.
That's a good idea.
That's a note for any city staff right now, until we get this taken care of, that please do that.
Yes.
You have it.
Yeah.
And President Bakey, would you like Mr. Harris to share that with you right now so you can look at it, or
That would
just
be helpful
afterwards?
if we're able to do that. If that's not, we can take a moment to get that together.
Takes up quite a bit of the days.
All right. Is it? No, that's not it. Is it beaming to us through the Wi-Fi? Okay. Counselors, you should have it in your inboxes. Thank you for bearing with us while we got that. Oh, it is saying we need permission to access that link. Does anyone have a hard copy that they could simply forward to members of council?
Let's print it. Can we print it from here? Thank you.
Or even if you have a file and not a SharePoint link that we could access?
Oh, no, sorry, this one's good.
Or a PDF or something like that? Just to be clear, is that coming our way via email or what is the plan?
I'm downloading it now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, got it. So am I the only one who's able to bring it up, or can I forward this now to everyone? Or I... Because I can't download from this file and try to share it with everybody. Does it exist in a PDF format? No. Okay.
We're sending it to each and every one.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
It does seem like the PDF version has now been shared into all of our inboxes. Yes. Can I get confirmation from another? Okay, yes? Okay, great.
All right.
Okay.
You can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for your patience. We discussed this, and I said that the technology will be fine. Should have known.
Try again.
Okay, game on.
We do lead remediation and healthy homes programming way better than we do technology. So. I'm here presenting this evening. Good evening, counselors and Mayor. I'm Rebecca Geiser, Deputy Director in Community Planning and Economic Development, for those in the audience who don't know me. And I'm here presenting with Elaine Lapp-Esch and Daniel Sosa from the Office of Healthy Homes, and we'll be sharing this presentation. And we are so excited to share with you tonight the impactful work led by the Office of Healthy Homes. Over the mayor's term, we've significantly expanded these programs, and we want to share with you what we've been able to accomplish over the last several years, and also what we hope to accomplish in the coming years. For reference, this is CPED's organizational chart, slide 2. And the Office of Healthy Homes is situated within the Health Bureau under the leadership of Craig Walt. Unfortunately, Craig is ill this evening and is unable to be with us, but he would have had the copies for you all. And he's prepared the team for this presentation. For many years, we've referred to this team as the LED team. Everyone calls this the LED team. But we have rebranded ourselves and rebranded the programs as the Office of Healthy Homes, really to highlight our broad focus on various programs to promote health, safety, and well-being, of which remediation is now just one part of all of the Office of Healthy Homes programming, which, as you'll see. To the next slide, this is a photo of our team, and the Office of Healthy Homes is made up of these 5 individuals and 2 others when fully staffed. And all team members started with the city in 2021 or later. So it's really remarkable to see the team building and capacity building that you'll hear about this evening that has opened up the programming over the last several years. Elise Poi, who is the Community Development Program Administrator, you've seen her before present. She also supports these efforts through overseeing our grant management and our compliance. So in line with the Health Bureau's mission to promote and protect the health and well-being of Lancaster City, the Office of Healthy Homes mission is to promote safe and healthy living environments. Through an array of programs and services, we aim to achieve these interrelated goals related to health and housing. And you can see the first three, reducing health and safety hazards, prevent childhood lead poisoning, and stabilizing homes and neighborhoods, are very obvious goals and connections. But in addition, this program also impacts important economic development goals within the city to preserve affordable housing and sustain homeownership, and supporting local contractors and small businesses as we do the work. The most effective public health programs address a magnitude of issues and are a part of a strategic and comprehensive approach to make long-lasting impact on our community. And this team is truly knocking it out of the park, and I'm so glad to be a part of the presentation this evening to provide you with some of the details about their work and the lives that they've impacted.
Hi, I'm Elaine Lapesh, I'm Programs Manager for the team, and I'm very happy to be with you tonight and be able to share our programming and some of the goals that we've reached over the last several years and what we have to look forward to. If we can leave one thing with you tonight, it's that we have 3 programs in our Office of Healthy Homes. So lead is very important, and we don't mind being called the lead team, but we're more than that. And we want to make sure that people in the city are aware of it. So I'm going to go over our 3 programs, and then Daniel will expand a little bit more upon it. The Lead Hazard Control Program is probably the one you're most familiar with. We received a $9.7 million grant in 2019, and are just wrapping up that grant now. But in this program, we perform a surface-by-surface lead inspection and risk assessment in a house, and then develop a scope of work that directly addresses each of the lead hazards. So to be a lead hazard, it's lead positive and it's also deteriorated. The Critical Repair Program is a program just for homeowners living in Lancaster City, and we address 1 or sometimes 2 very big issues. And these are critical or emergency issues that may cause the owner to have to leave their home. I'm very proud of this program because often we have longtime homeowners that there's just been deferred maintenance or a sewer pipe collapses, just one big issue that's very expensive and hard to save for, hard to plan for, and we can help them out. We screen issues for this one over the phone, so we don't require that they submit an application before we review the emergency repair that they have. That way they're not wasting their time. If they filled out an application, knew they were eligible, and then we went and looked and said, well, you know, we don't use this program for a leaking faucet, then they would have wasted all that time. The Healthy Homes Program, we received part of the money from the Lead Hazard Control Program for Healthy Homes. So it was a $9.7 million grant. The $700,000 was for Healthy Homes issues. So when we were in a house doing the lead work, we would also be able to fix some of the other Healthy Homes issues that were not lead-based. Part of the Healthy Home stuff, too, is we are able to flag some of the urgent issues that we would otherwise address through critical repair. So that's been a good way to help us find funding for people. Yeah.
Great. So throughout the presentation, we're going to be zooming in, then zooming out and zooming back in again. So with that, I wanted to dive in a little bit more into the programs that we have at the city in our office. So with the Lead Hazard Control Program, that can look like a lot of different things, but it may include new windows, new doors, new porch floors, new flooring on the stairs, freshly painted and stabilized trim, and new trim, enclosing porch ceilings with vinyl or other exterior components, or new sod, mulch, or turf on the play areas on the outside of the house. The lead hazard control scope of work is determined based on an inspection that our housing rehab and lead specialist and our risk assessor, when we do hire one, it's based on their inspection. And the lead hazard control program has been funded through the large housing and urban development grant that was previously mentioned, and also through a grant that we got through the Pennsylvania Department of Health. And then we have the critical repair program, as mentioned. These are big issues that might affect a house. Those could be leaking roofs, broken furnaces or water heaters, fractured sewer pipes, structural problems that could danger the house of collapsing, electrical issues that could start a fire. This program has been funded over the years by community development block grants and through the American Rescue Plan Act. We also work with a loan program that's offered out of Tenfold as well, to help folks that might be over our income guidelines that we have. And then we have the Healthy Homes program, and these can include some of those critical issues that we mentioned earlier. But there's a big focus in the Healthy Homes program on radon testing and mitigation, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and fire extinguishers, accessibility through handrails and ramps, pest management, weatherization, moisture issues and other asthma triggers also are addressed through the Healthy Homes program. And this has been funded through Housing and Urban Development as well, and will be going forward. And so then we have some eligibility requirements that go with all of our programs. The income guidelines are the same for all of our programs that we have. It is 80% of the area median income, which visually speaking is the chart attached to this slide. That is the current income qualifications. But we also do have a partnership with the Lancaster City Housing Authority for folks that are receiving housing vouchers, commonly known as Section 8, where income eligibility is streamlined for those folks. We've been able to do, I believe, at least 50 of the scattered sites throughout the city with this partnership. Another eligibility requirement is that the deeded property owner must apply for the project. Seems pretty obvious, but the property must have property insurance, and the property must be used as a primary residence. That's another eligibility requirement. And then a small niche requirement for the lead hazard control program is that it has to be built before 1978, which, as you guys all know, is the great majority of the houses in Lancaster City. There is quite the documentation that goes along with becoming eligible for the program that you had to provide. It can be burdensome for some folks, but we've put a lot of work over the last few years to actually reduce the amount of paperwork and provide support for folks that are applying to make it less of a burden on their time, and we've seen a lot of success through that as well.
In the next couple of slides, Rebecca's going to be able to brag for us about our productivity over the last year especially. But I want to talk a little bit about how we got there, how we were able to manage that, and what are the key things that we've done or that have come along that have been able to increase our productivity. Outreach and referrals, I really can't say enough about some of the partnerships that we've developed, especially with the PA Department of Health. Craig, I'm sorry he can't be here tonight because he's very proud of some of the improvements that we've made. And one of the things he worked very hard at was to get a data sharing agreement with the Department of Health so that lead poisoned kids would be reported to us, not for enforcement, but so that we could offer our program to their families. And that's been really wonderful. As Dan mentioned, the Section 8 partnership that we have with the Housing Authority, that has really paved the way for a lot of landlords that accept Section 8 vouchers to put their properties through our program without burdening their tenants with a lot of the paperwork. So they still have to fill out an application, but then it's automatic eligibility because of the Section 8 voucher. The lead ordinance that we expanded last year has also made a huge difference in our program. So it's really attracted the attention of a lot of landlords. And fortunately, once they put one property through our program, they're eager to get other properties enrolled as well. And we kind of expect this to explode a little bit next year when we go citywide, which we'll talk about with our next grant. Enrollment, one thing that has made, like Dan mentioned as well, one thing that has made a huge difference is the attention that we pay to each application. A couple of years ago, Dan and I kind of put our heads together about our enrollment numbers and the amount of applications that we were receiving, and figured out that only about 35% of the applications were actually getting over the finish line. So we've worked very hard to, once we engage with someone, to really stay on it until, you know, if they say, absolutely, we're done, we don't want to continue, that's fine. But we will do whatever we can to help their application be approved. And also language access, we've gotten much better at that. We have a really good software app on our phones called Propio that we're able to do 3-way live interpretation and in any language, and it's been amazing. And I have to shout out to Nat Swanson. She's our outreach and education specialist. She is really passionate about language access and language justice, and she has been amazing with helping people finish these applications. So we do need the application in English. HUD requires that, but she can go through the entire thing with them in whatever language they prefer and help them fill it out. And then also project workflow. We just keep looking for ways. Every day we're looking for ways to improve our workflow. Our risk assessor right now, we only have Forrest, the tall guy in the picture. He's our only rehab specialist right now, and he has to do a lot of paperwork. So we're always looking for ways to support him, eliminate paperwork where we can. We do a lot of Adobe Sign, which we didn't used to do. We used to be running around getting signatures all the time. We do a lot more things electronically. We got new XRF guns that work faster and are easier to manage. And we also try to help landlords not to have to duplicate the information they give to us. So if they're enrolling 10 properties, we're only collecting their ID one time. We're only getting their operating agreement one time. We're only getting their property management agreement one time. And that really helps them out. So I'll let Rebecca talk about our numbers.
This slide speaks for itself if you're not there yet. You can move to the bar graph. These are the outcomes and impacts of the incredible growth in the capacity of this team since 2020. The amount of money and the amount of projects we have completed, you can't maybe see in the red, maybe you can probably better on your computers, but for the people in the house here, we completed 170 lead hazard control projects this year alone and 40 critical repair projects utilizing the designated ARPA allocation awarded by City Council. So this really made a very large impact in the community and our ability to carry out these critical repair projects. And I especially want to highlight, as Elaine mentioned, the commitment to equitably offering services to all of Lancaster through their streamlining of those referrals and application processes. And so in 2024, you can see we've doubled the amount that we spent on lead remediation leading up to the last months of this high impact grant. We are closing that out here at the end of May and have successfully spent down that grant, all of the money that was allocated for lead remediation. And that is quite an accomplishment on the part of the team and the community development team to bring that to fruition.
So just to recap a little bit, with our lead hazard control grant, we completed 403 lead remediation projects in total. Those were all in targeted 5 census tracts in the southern quadrants. I wanted to add a little bit about our average lead project cost. So we ended up with an average of $17.5 per which is much higher than we had anticipated when we wrote our grant application. So in June or July of 2023, we had a HUD audit visit where our representatives really encouraged us to do more abatement for our projects. So a couple technical terms, abatement means to permanently remove lead, whereas interim control is something that will require maintenance in the future. So we were doing a lot of interim control, a lot of scrape and paint on trim, and they said, hey, whenever you can, get it out of there. So there's this fine balance because we are working in some beautiful old homes. So sometimes we don't want to remove the trim and replace it. But when it's really beat up and has seen better days, has 10 coats of paint on, we're doing a lot more of remove and replace than we used to. So that has driven up our project cost. It did mean that we had to lower our target numbers, the number of houses that we could serve. But like Rebecca said, we ended up spending all the funds that we had for lead abatement. And we're really happy about that. And I also want to point out that we require landlords to cover 10% of the costs. So that has resulted in nearly $500,000 of private funds being put into the housing stock of Lancaster City as well. The Pennsylvania Department of Health led grant, we were able to do 34 properties through them. And actually, we signed a couple more contracts this week, so that number has gone up. They have allowed us to go citywide, not just in the target area. So when we get a case that it's a household with lead poisoning, we're able to help them even though they're not in the target area that we had for HUD. Critical repair, like Rebecca mentioned, we were able to do 40 projects, which is almost double anything we've ever done before in a year. The vast majority are roofs. I like to say, I don't know that anybody likes to hear this, but even though people worry about lead, it's really those leaking roofs and collapsed sewer pipes that keep people up at night, that really give them anxiety about their house. And sometimes it gets ignored, and sometimes there's a lot of rot that goes along with it. But those are high dollar items, and it's hard for any of us to save up $30,000 and be ready for that bill, right? I say $30,000, we don't go that high. But some roofs we have gone up to, I think 25,000 has been the highest for a roof. And we'll actually see a picture of that in a minute. There's a Cedar Shake house in the Harb District. Healthy Homes. Again, the Healthy Homes grant that we're talking about from 2020 to 2024 was only for houses where we'd also done lead work. So the average cost per house stayed relatively low, about $5,500. And we did 106 homes with Healthy Homes supplemental funds. So we'll talk about moving forward. We have a new grant called Healthy Homes Production that we can use as a standalone. It doesn't have to be used alongside lead. So that will allow us to do even more. And now we have a few pictures Dan's going to talk about.
I'll go through these relatively fast, but these are just a few examples of some of the projects that we've done over the past few years. This was a porch that was replaced. It was all lead painted porch that got replaced with new decking, not new paint, but brand new decking in total. A big thing that we do with window replacement is because the windows are a big friction point. So anytime you open or close a window, it creates dust and paint chips that become a major hazard. So replacing them can go a really long way towards making a home lead safe. With the Healthy Homes program, we do a lot of the smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, radon mitigation. I bet a lot of you guys have these in your homes. And then plumbing or accessibility issues. This is before and after of a bathroom that we fixed. This is that big roof that Elaine mentioned. You could see through it. You could see daylight out of it, but it got replaced with a brand new roof. Really great stuff. And then another major concern for folks is heating issues. If, your heating source is broken during the winter, replacing that can be life changer, life saver, literally. So yeah, another example of that. And then we're going to look ahead.
We are so pleased to report that although the high impact grant that you've heard so much about is coming to a close this month, we have secured an additional $7 million in lead hazard control coming up. and anticipate completing 300 additional projects with that money. We do have about $100,000 in ARPA remaining for critical repair and $2.75 million in healthy homes, which is, we expect to complete about 180 projects. So we are very excited to continue the sustainability of this program. And we really appreciate that you all have listened to our presentation. And our final important message to residents and to all of you is everyone deserves a safe and healthy home. So if you have need of any of these programs or know of residents, please refer them to us. I believe we have given you brochures. There are some on the table there for people in the room, and we are very glad to receive your referrals. And thank you for all of your support through ARPA, through CDBG, and through your referrals to our program over the years. We're just so glad to be partnering with you on this program.
Thank you very much to all of you for all of your amazing work. Yes. A huge round of applause to you and your entire team, and tell Craig thank you as well. I just wanted to say that I remember I was just coming on to council when the grant came to us in 2019. I remember us, if I remember correctly, we all, including the councilors-elect at that time, signed our names on the big check that we got. And it was really amazing, and to think about the possibility that was a part of that, and now to be at the conclusion of that and know that we have more, we can move forward because we've proven that we can do it, is a testament to everybody on the team and everybody who put it into action. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Any additional comments from council on the report that we received? Councilor Arroyo?
Thank you, Council President. Just wanted to say thank you to the team. Out of the many departments and programs in our city, this is definitely one of the ones, or these three programs are one of the ones I brag about a lot to our residents. And it's really cool to see the completed number of projects over the years. And want to give a shout out to Dan, because I know personally that you went out and knocked doors to get the word out about specifically the lead program. But it's really cool to see how much impact we've had in our city over the years. So thank you so much to the team for making it happen.
Councilor Craig?
Yeah, I just want to say, piggyback on what Councilor Arroyo has said, and just to say thank you.
Councilor Hirsch?
Thanks for all you do. And the only thing I wanted to add is I loved the innovative partnerships that we're seeing, particularly with the City Housing Authority. I just thought that was brilliant in the ways you guys did that to get more out of it. I thought that was really excellent, so thank you.
Mayor Sarachi?
Thank you. I just want to, when we received the award in 2019, we were one of the high impact HUD recipients, which made us one of a handful on par with Detroit and Baltimore, the state of Rhode Island, and Houston. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I think we're leading the nation. And so can you just talk a little bit about that? Because I think we have bragging rights.
Thank you, Mayor, and I just appreciate so much your support and how much you've talked us up, because it has helped in a lot of different areas and the resources that we've received. We are one of the top performing. We actually, as I mentioned, we decreased our production numbers to 400 because we had increased the price per property, and most of the other high impact grantees had not even proposed that high of a number. They were more in the 300 to 350 range. So I'm not sure where they're all ending up. We'll have, I think we'll have access to those results as they close out their grants too. But definitely we have heard from HUD that we're one of the top performers, and that's always great to hear. But it also positioned us well for the follow-up grants that we received, including the Healthy Homes Production Grant. We ran out of our Healthy Homes supplemental funds for that first grant about 2 years before the end of the lead grant. So if we hadn't received that Healthy Homes Production Grant, we kind of would have had a little more of a hole in our services. So having our reputation for production really helped us there. So, Thank you.
And congratulations again. Thank you so much. All right, that will take us to our next item on the agenda, which is interim reports of committees of council, of which we do not appear to have any more of those. Mr. Harris, just let me know when you're set to, from a technical standpoint, are you good over there to proceed? Okay. Oh, we need the dongle. We're working on a dongle system now. Thank you. So that will take us into our legislative agenda this evening. The first item is ordinances for final passage. For that, we begin with Administration Bill Number 4, 2025. Mr. Harris, if you would, please.
Yes, Madam President. An ordinance of the Lancaster City Council amending Chapter 155, Historic Districts of the Code of the City of Lancaster by revising the definition of building official and clarifying a building official's membership on the City of Lancaster Historical Architectural Review Board and Historical Commission, providing for the appointment of a building official or officials to the Historical Architectural Review Board and/or Commission by the Director of the Department of Community and Economic Development, providing for the repeal of inconsistent ordinances, providing for the severability of the ordinance, and providing that the ordinance shall take effect in accordance with Pennsylvania law.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was coming up through Community Planning Committee. Councilor Craig.
Thank you, Council President. If I'm not mistaken, I think I believe Director Delphs presented this to us in committee. The bill for this amendment will update the definition of the building officials within the definition of building officials within the historic district ordinance. This is to create more flexible for appointments to the Historical Architectural Review Board and Historical Commission. The current ordinance refers to the building officials that dates back to when the city only had one. Now there are several. The ordinance would also delegate to the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development the authority to designate the building officials to serve on those boards.
Thank you very much, Councilor Craig. Dr. Delphs, good evening. Do you have anything in addition to add? I know we've reviewed this at committee and at our previous meeting.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor, members of the public. Thank you, Councilor Craig. I think that was an excellent summary. I really don't have very much to add. I know as a bill, this is the second reading before council. We also addressed it in committee. So I believe we have talked about the fundamentals of the bill. As you said, really at the heart of this ordinance change is a desire to update the building official definition and to align that with the modern professional certification standards for commercial code inspectors that we have on staff. The current ordinance does already require that both the Historical Commission and the HARB have a building official as one of the members on the commission and the board. So this is just making a small amendment in order to build in some of that flexibility that you described.
Great.
Thank you so much. Councilors, any council comments on the bill? From the public? Hearing none, Mr. Harris.
Mr. Ahmed.
Aye.
Mr. Arroyo.
Aye.
Mr. Cleese.
Aye.
Ms. Craig.
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch.
Aye.
And President Baker.
Aye. Thank you. Our next item on the legislative agenda is item B. These are resolutions. We have tonight Administration Resolution Number 36, 2025. Mr. Harris.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Lancaster approving the adoption of an amendment to the Act 537 Official Sewage Facilities Plan for the City of Lancaster.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is also coming up through Community Planning. Councilor Craig.
Thank you, Council President. We've done these several times before. The Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection requires that the municipality to adopt an official sewage facilities plan, providing for the services adequate to prevent contamination and environmental health hazards with sewer waste, and amend from time to time when necessary to assure there is adequate sewage disposal. The owners at A&M Global LLC have proposed the development of a parcel of land at 617 Fremont Street. The city of Lancaster has found that the project described planning module conforms to applicable sewage-related zoning and other sewage-related municipal ordinances and plans. So,
Thank you very much.
hello.
Hello.
Good
If you
evening.
have any questions regarding the sewage module, I can provide
Sure.
any answers.
I know we've done a bunch of these, and just for purposes of anyone listening wondering what we're speaking about, this certifies that this project, there's adequate sewage capacity to proceed with this project, and it is the first of many sort of applications and permit processes that may happen for this project. So it is before any other planning has happened. Is that correct?
That's correct. This one actually you guys approved back in
That's
March,
right.
but
Thank you.
because of a timing issue with the county planning's approval, it's actually back before you to kind of certify that approval.
That's right. This address did seem familiar, so thank you for reminding us of that. Any additional council comments on the resolution? From the public? Hearing none, Mr. Harris?
Mr. Mann?
Aye.
Mr. Arroyo?
Aye.
Mr. Cleese?
Aye.
Ms. Craig?
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch?
Aye.
And President Baker.
Aye. Thank you. Our next item under resolutions is Administration Resolution Number 39, 2025. Mr. Harris.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Lancaster approving World Refugee Day flag raising on January 20th, 2025 to celebrate the refugee experience and acknowledge the contributions of refugees to Lancaster as brought forth by Councilor Ahmed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Councilor Ahmed, anything to add for this one? This was your request.
Not much to add. I just want to thank the administration for their commitment to continuing to recognize World Refugee Day here in Lancaster. And this World Refugee Day, we'll be doing a flag raising where we'll be flying the Refugee Nation flag, which is a symbolic flag for refugees across the world. It is an orange flag with a black stripe down the bottom to symbolize the horizon that refugees have to find in their long quest, but it also symbolizes life jackets that many refugees may have had to use during their travels. We look forward to the flag raising on June 20th to continue to honor the contributions, experience, and stories of our refugee neighbors here in Lancaster.
Thank you very much, Councilor Ahmed. And as this pertains to the next, this item and the next item on our agenda, I'll also remind council that the process for submitting requests to raise a flag happens through our Department of Neighborhood Engagement, and individuals or organizations that wish to request can do so online in advance, which I believe is 120 days, I believe is the threshold. So that is available to you. Any additional council comments on the resolution? Councilor Arroyo.
Councilor, thank you, Council President. Councilor Ahmed, and the time of the flag raising?
I believe it is 10 a.m. I would have to get back to you on the exact time of the flag raising.
Yeah, the resolution doesn't specify a time, only a date, so
Yeah.
thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
Additional council comments from the public? Hearing none, Mr. Harris.
Mr. Mann?
Aye.
Mr. Arroyo?
Aye.
Mr. Cleese?
Aye.
Ms. Craig?
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch?
Aye.
And President Baker.
Aye. And finally, resolution number 40, 2025. Mr. Harris, when you're ready, sorry.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Lancaster approving the Juneteenth flag raising on June 19, 2025, to acknowledge the emancipation of African Americans brought forth by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Motion to approve?
Second.
A motion and a second. Counselors, thank you for hearing this one. You might recall that shortly after Juneteenth of 2024, we actually approved a flag raising for 2025. The request has been submitted to change the date, and so this is a bit of a housekeeping resolution to ensure that we have everything recorded properly. The flag raising date will be changed to actually occur on June 19th, 2025. Again, we had previously approved this request, and this is just amending the date. Any additional council comments on this one? From the public? Hearing none, Mr. Harris.
Mr. Madden.
Aye.
Mr. Royo.
Aye.
Mr. Cleese.
Aye.
Ms. Craig.
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch.
Aye.
And President Beke.
Aye. All right, that will conclude our legislative agenda this evening. The next item in front of us is our second public comment period. Again, this is open for items not previously heard on the agenda. Duration of comments is limited to 3 minutes per speaker. If there's anyone wishing to participate in this public comment period, please come forward at this time. Please come on up. Mr. Zaki, good evening. And I believe I made a note. If you could just begin with your name and block of residence for our meeting record. Thank you.
My name is Ahmad Zaki and live in 336 Beaver Street. And sorry that I'm trying to continue again what I left. I will be the first person that I'm calling the lawful people as a criminal. Because I'm thinking by not giving the justice to people, they're committing crime. They're encouraging people to go kill somebody or to suicide themselves. And I'm challenging all lawyers and judges if can prove it or not. And some people trying to bring peace in Ukraine and Gaza here, there, I think they should bring peace in here because there's a conflict between rich and poor. And to prevent from the crime, from they creating the crime, but if they bring peace, that they can do. Some saying the American first, this is the time that the American first bring peace in here, a real peace in the heart, in the community, not by forcing give a person a life sentence in the jail. That's not the peace. Like they gave for that person Luigi. As an update, we filed our case in the court. I took my kids' money from tax return money to file my case in court. And it need a lot of money to process this case. I don't know how I will be able to collect that money to pay for the lawyers or for the court or not. And I hope that this problem will solve, but not harm myself like the other person did in front of the court, because I love my kids. I'm not commenting a crime. If I was doing, I was not here. But I hope that everything will go well. And this is all my word. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaki. Any additional commenters for the second public comment period? Great. Hearing none, I will close public comment, and we will move to our next item on the agenda this evening. That would be the report of the mayor. Mayor Sirachi.
Thank you, Council President. Tonight, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the School District of Lancaster and its incredible students. Over the years, SDOL and the city have built a strong and meaningful partnership, and I want to recognize a few pieces of SDL news. So first, I want to congratulate McCaskey's unified track and field and varsity track and field athletes who competed at the A state championships at Shippensburg this past weekend. Varsity track and field team placed second, a remarkable achievement, and all the student athletes make our entire city proud. And the only reason why I had awareness of this is that last week I and several city staff had the pleasure of judging the School District of Lancaster STEM Fair. And it was as I was leaving the STEM Fair that there was the drum line and all of the cheerleaders as they were sending off the athletes onto the bus to head to Shippensburg. And it was just such a wonderful moment of school spirit and community pride. So I just want to recognize that. And then as it relates to the STEM Fair, several of us had the chance to go and judge projects, and I think as well, Councilor Arroyo, Molly, our Deputy Director of Public Works for Sustainability, Rebecca, who you heard from tonight, and Betsy, also who you heard from tonight, got to witness the passion and innovation of these young minds at the STEM Fair, and their projects were pretty amazing. And they have recently taken on a number of projects that are directly related to the city, whether that's around stormwater or litter. I highly recommend, if council members ever get asked to go, to absolutely do it, because you will be shocked at what these kids are coming up with. I also, one of the key programs connecting the city and the school district has been the J.P. McCaskey Neighborhood Leaders Academy, which has been an outstanding program over the years, with 84 students completing it since its inception. At our last meeting, we saw this, and the program continues to shape future leaders and strengthen the ties between McCaskey and our city government. And just this morning, I attended the Witness Stones Project ceremony and saw the hard work of McCaskey social studies students who researched the stories of 4 enslaved residents of Lancaster. They spoke eloquently at the ceremony about the research that they did and what they learned about these 4 individuals. 2 of them were children, and it was really clear that they were passionate about the project. And finally, this week is McCaskey's graduation. It will be held on Thursday night, an annual highlight for sure. I have the opportunity to speak at the ceremony and to celebrate their perseverance and dedication. And this last one, will certainly be extra special for me to celebrate the class of 2025. So I'm really deeply proud of how our city employees have embraced collaboration with the school district on key initiatives like bike and pedestrian safety, youth engagement, public safety, and community building. There is much more to collaborate on, and I'm grateful both to our city departments and School District of Lancaster staff who are really eager to keep that partnership going strong. Thank you, Council.
Thank you very much, Mayor Sirachi. Our next item is the report of President of Council. I don't have a specific report, but I wanted to thank you for highlighting the work that our students are doing. It is truly incredible when I get a chance to interact with them, whether they come through City Hall as part of the Neighborhood Leaders Academy, or we're going out into classrooms to talk to, a social studies class. I'm always amazed at the questions and the thoughtful questions that they ask of us, and how engaged and interested they are in learning about how they can interact with their local government. So thank you. The next item on the agenda is council comments. Are there any comments from council tonight?
Council President, if I may.
Councilor Ahmed.
I just wanted to make the other members of council aware that the Home Rule Study Transition Committee did meet on May 6th and went over both the administrative code as well as the ethics code, which we are currently doing the interviews for, and will be more to come. But we are on track and we are on time, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Councilor Ahmed. I will also, just to backtrack a little bit, because you mentioned that, I will mention to members of council that you will receive some additional dates for special meetings of council. These will be work sessions related to the writing of the administrative code of the city. So more to come to members of council for that. And thank you for your work. Any additional council comments? All right, having reached the end of our agenda, I will hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.